Hey, welcome back. So we're getting ready to do the final scenario, and as you can see with my camera above and whatnot, this is sprawling quite a bit on my map here, or on my game board or table, is what I'm trying to say. So let me just fill you in on the spots that are at the edge of the camera. Obviously, you're not going to be able to see our source, which is over here, but I'll announce it like I usually do. Um, and then up here, I moved it slightly towards us, but you can see that's where the first landmark is. And this is the swamp, that's the closest to our fortress gate. These were both close. And then also I want to point out, like this one you can see is the warp place. And then there's another warp one here. And the way I do it is, you can see I have them all in piles based on their type. And there's 5 of them, and then the third one are these, and then that's number 4, and this is number 5. And I literally roll a die and then just take off the top. Like these are each sorted because I don't know any other way to do it. I mean, I guess you could throw these maybe into a bag so that way you can't see them and then pull them out of the bag. That would be a good option, but I just roll a die. And so when you see both of these come out, that means I rolled a 3 twice. And that did happen. And then as you can see here, I rolled a 2 twice as well. And I think I rolled, yeah, there's a swamp. So I rolled a 4 and I never rolled a 5. And of course I would re-roll on a 6. So, so up there at the edge of the map or edge of the camera, you can see this. The tile goes further, but it's useless terrain. Trust me. We're probably never going to step foot there. Then down here, it looks like it's going off the camera, but this is actually the last tile. And then over here, you can see, like I said, this is our, I know there's probably a glare for you, at least it looks like it is on the preview. This is a warp thing. So if we can get both of these revealed, I can actually have minions that warp from one end to the other. That's actually quite powerful. It also means, though, that they can do the same thing. So that's interesting. And then here, you can see it's like we're right at the tail end of this all is at the tail end of the camera, but these are actually the last tiles. And then there's a tower here, a spire. There's a spire here, and you can see all 3 of those really well. And then, of course, this is an air fortress, which are the birds, and they have a 10 health. So that's the only thing you can't see is that they have 10 health. So I was able to get it all in, but boy, it was a tight fit. I can always raise the camera up higher so I can see more, but I didn't want to do too much because I think this is a nice view. And obviously I'm recording all these in one night, so I haven't had a chance to get feedback from you guys on whether you enjoy this new format. I can tell you that from my perspective, it's very hands-free. Like I have both of my hands available, and that's awesome. Also, like you don't see much of a shadow either. My hand puts a little bit of a shadow, but the camera used to always put a shadow everywhere I went because of the angle of my lights. My lights are actually behind me. And anyways, enough of that. So let's talk about, okay, first of all, what's in the market. You can see the Earthscape right here. That's the Earthscape in the market. And then these are the 3 items. They're very interesting. So this one is a hunter, which just means he gets a bonus against landmarks. I don't know how exciting that is, but I mean, just by himself, I mean, he's a pretty powerful unit. I mean, he could be helpful. This one is very interesting because we're actually playing against the heirs, and he's anti-heir, which means that they're not allowed to recruit him, so we can save him for ourselves. He does 3 damage, which is amazing. It's not amazing, but it's really good for a unit. But he does cost 5, and so that's one problem. And his health is pretty decent at 4. So that's really nice. And of course, the flying is very good. And then this one here is a Reap, which I think is probably the most interesting of all. And this is blue background, so that means it's an item that a hero would use. And what that does is once per wave, I think I got it right. It's once per wave. Yes, once per wave. Once per wave, you get to roll a d6 and collect that many source if you're next to a source well. And it doesn't even matter if the source wells occupied. So every one of these landmarks, for example, is a source well. So all you have to do is be just next to one. Doesn't matter if it's clear or not. And you roll a d6 and you get that much source. So I think that's amazing, unless, of course, you roll ones every time. So at the beginning of the game, I'm very tempted to buy this because I want to make the most of it, right? It costs me 2, and in just one wave, this could have paid for itself potentially. If I roll a 2 or better, it'll already have paid off. And obviously, if you buy it in wave 1, that's going to get you the most bang for the buck. But I also want you to just pay attention to these because we're going to go over what happens with this scenario. This one is actually a very interesting one. You're going to find out because of the things I'm going to explain next. And then this one I think we're never going to get, and you'll understand why in a second. So let's look at the waves real quick. So for the waves, we have an income of 3 in the beginning, and then 0 the rest of the game. So it's a very weird scenario. And then here you can see that in wave 3, the heirs are going to purchase a merc but not deploy it. So they're probably going to purchase that mountaineer, for example. And that's the reason why the other one's interesting, because he's anti-heir, meaning that they're not allowed to purchase him ever. So if we could actually buy that mountaineer before wave 3, and I mean, it takes a lot of if statements, but if there aren't any mercs for them to hire, they don't actually hire any. But they may take the mountaineer, because chances are we'll be taking other things, especially if we're getting 0 source every turn. The other thing is the heirs are going to build stables level 1. And I need to go figure out what that is first. So let me look real quick. Stables level 1 is Harrier training. The health stat of all Harrier minions permanently increased by 1. Okay, that's pretty cool. So their Harriers are going to be even tougher. So that's something. And so they're going to build that on the first wave. And then we get to construct a dispatch platform or a mining outpost for free, also in build phase. So that's also awesome. And then, of course, you can see we got the standard CP, going down. And then they're going to build a sanctuary level 3. They get a range upgrade. And then they're going to build a stables level 3. I guess they go from level 1 straight to level 3. And then they add a range upgrade to the bottom of each air spire. So they're getting a lot of upgrades. And then they're going to get an attack upgrade. So their spires are going to get more powerful as the game goes on. So our top priority is to take out those spires. I mean, it really, really is, because they keep getting upgrades. And if we take out their spires, then they won't get the upgrade, right? I mean, that's really the gist of it. So let's go look at their thing again. So they're going to get a sanctuary level 3 and a stables level 3. So the stables we were just looking at, level 3 is they gain the joust die. What does that even mean? It means they roll and lock this die during the prep phase, and then all joust minions will get whatever bonus we roll. Okay, so we got to do that for them. And then you can see also the reserves. This will also be unlocked. Once per wave, when your last minion is eliminated, you may immediately spend 2 source to put a joust. Actually, that's why they skipped to 3. That really doesn't happen for them. And then what did they say? Sanctuary level 3. Fortress spires. Immediately construct up to 2 minaret spires on your fortress source whales. Ooh, okay. So they're going to get 2 more spires at the very end of the game. Okay. So now that I've explained how the waves are going to work, let's look at the scenario rules. First objective is we have to have number of siege tower spires constructed when the scenario ends, each within 4 hexes of the air fortress gate. So let me back off a little bit. So the air fortress gate is here. So this is 2 hexes away. And then here, and then there, right? So that landmark, this, that's 3 of them. And then this one is also within range, and so is this one. But this one is a warp gate, so I can't even go here even if I wanted to. Okay, so this one's out of order, and this is what I'm talking about. Like some scenarios, these these portals are annoying, and these are all from the expansion, and it can really backfire on you and ruin the scenario. So my recommendation, if you ever have one of these and it's in your way, destroy it and just draw another one. And in fact, in this case, this is a problem, because if this was any other type of landmark, I could potentially build a spire here instead of having to go into one of these other areas. So this could actually be a real problem. Now, I was thinking it was really nice to have ability to warp all the way across the map, but this is a big deal, because this is one of our endgame objectives. So I'm going to think about this. I may destroy this and draw another one just for that reason, and I recommend you do the same. I know the rules don't say to do that, but I think if we sat down with the designers, they'd probably agree that these could be problematic. I mean, these are permanent. You can't remove them for any reason. So getting back to this, so how many do we have to do? We have to produce 1 plus the amount of renown we got last scenario. If you remember, we only got 2 renown. We didn't get the third one. So that means we have to produce 3. And I just pointed to 5 of them on the map. So we have 5 spots. We need to build towers on at least 3 of those 5 spots. Okay. It doesn't matter what strength those towers are at. We just need to have them, 3 of them. And so, yeah, that particular warp gate is a problem, because that might be an easy place to build a tower. So I'm probably going to here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to swap it. I'm going to just take this and swap it with this. So we got a warp gate here, and then that's going to be normal. Okay? So that'll be my solution. So I'm still using everything I drew. I'm just going to make sure this is a more tenable chance to win. Okay, now if we would have gotten all 3 of them, then that means we would have to build 4. And one thing I want to point out to any of you who are playing this scenario, there's only 4 siege towers available. So don't fall into the pitfall of building these thinking you need them to, defend your fortress. If you actually got all 3 victory points from the last, what are they called? Victory points, whatever they're called. If you got all 3 of them, you have to build all 4 of these to get this first objective. I need 3 of them, so I could theoretically build at least 1. Now, why do I mention that? Because if you recall, in Wave 1, it says you can build a dispatch platform. Well, the siege tower, if you flip it over, is a dispatch platform. So if you build a dispatch, that means you're ruining your chance of winning that first scenario if you have to build all 4. So be super careful and make sure you do the mining outpost instead. I'm going to do a mining outpost no matter what, because why would I not? I mean, that's free source for us. The next one is defeat all their spires, which we now know is going to be a challenge, because their spires are going to constantly be upgraded. Although I would like to do it because this sort of ties together. 1 and 2 both work together. And then this last one's a weird one. Osh, which is our hero, has to deliver terms of surrender to their air fortress gate. And if Osh is ever defeated, we lose. If our fortress gate is defeated, we lose. And we just have to complete 1. So if Osh ever gets to their fortress gate, he delivers them terms of their surrender, not ours. Okay? So now for the rules. And this is the tricky one that makes this scenario tough. So right here, you can see when Brahmin minions are defeated, they are removed from play, and they never return to the barracks. So if I build a source siege engine, and there's only 1 in the game, and it gets defeated, which has to happen, or otherwise the wave won't end, I'll never get him back ever again. So it's a one-shot, use. That is brutal. When Osh ends his movement adjacent to the air fortress gate, he will deliver the terms of surrender. Scenario ends immediately. And then if we defeat their fortress gate, scenario ends immediately as well. We just don't lose when that happens. Jelena Nestor, which is going to be the hero that's going to be for them, is going to go after an opposing unit or spire. Leveling will go after fortification upgrades first, which will give her more health points. And then these talents are all just the same if you've played the earlier scenarios. And for event die, you can see if we roll, we're not going to be able to deploy Battleborn, Dispatch, or Aegis minions. It depends on what we roll. And the event die is going to be rolled 4 of the 5 waves. So only wave 3 do we skip it. Okay, so I think the largest challenge here, of course, we know that their spires are going to keep getting upgraded, so we need to take their spires out. That is a given. But then the other big challenge is whatever units we deploy, they're never coming back. So if we're going to use our Source Siege Engine, we better make it count, right? If we use our Dispatch or our Battleborns, I mean, I guess we better make it count. But so it also means that our Architects might be useful because we can use them to build these spires that we have to build to win the game. So those are just thoughts going through my head, okay? I think that the fact that we have this Harvester is really awesome because we can give that to Osh and get bonus Source, which it sounds like Source is going to be very sparse, so we may need to implement, mining drills and things like that. But let's play it out and see how it goes. So first things first is a rehash of this. We're using all 3 of these, so let's make sure that we understand what those are. I don't remember. That's why I'm doing it for me. I make it sound like I'm doing it for you. Reprioritize is +3 Source. So I'm just going to write that down. The reinforcements is wave 1. So for wave 1, we get +4 Source. And then we get +1 CP. I don't even know if that's going to be helpful. But we get +1 CP. And then hired protection is we get to pick a unit and it's immune to the event die. So we already know that the event die is either going to make it so we can't dispatch Battleborn, Dispatch minions, or Aegis. So I'm going to protect the Dispatch, for example. So I'm going to say I'm protecting Dispatch. All right, and then there was one other note that I want to point out to you because I think, I know like some folks don't want to know, but it does say in the notes that at the end of the mission, you need to capture and record your towers, whichever towers that you built, the siege towers, to accomplish objective 1, and you need to know like what kind of upgrades they have and stuff like that. And the reason you need to know is even though the Brahmin scenarios are over, you're going to move on to the next mission, which is going to be the heirs, which is this race here. And the towers you finish with is actually going to change the scenario for the next scenario. So I won't tell you just so I don't spoil it. But if you are the kind of person who would like to know how it impacts the next scenario, just flip 1 page over. It'll actually explain it to you. It's pretty straightforward how it impacts the next scenario. I know because I'm one of those people that likes to peek. I don't care if people tell me how a movie ends, except for maybe The Sixth Sense. Most of the time, especially if it's like a Star Wars, I don't care. If somebody tells me Han Solo's going to die, it doesn't matter to me. I think people get really bent out of shape over stuff like that, and there's just bigger problems in this world. But I definitely want to try to respect it. So there you go. Whatever towers you build, I don't think the location matters. It's just the type and how strong they are. You got to record and what kind of upgrades they have. So as long as you have that, you're good and go, and it will impact the next scenario. Okay, let's get rolling. So we're going to start the game with 3 source, and that's it. But because of our reinforcements, we get 4 more source. So that puts us up to 7. And then we also have reprioritize, which gives us 3 more. And you know what? I'm going to take all 3 of them right now. So we're going to go to 10. I like having the source right away. Okay? So we're going to start the game with 10 source. We start with Osh because per all games, that's the only one you can start on wave 1 is your 0 cost hero. So I can flip it over. So he's your 0 cost. So we're going to start with him. And of course, he can't die. He has the hunter ability, so he's a really nice one to go out and take out landmarks with. So we're going to have him for sure. So I'm going to go ahead and grab 3 health and get him set up. We don't know where he's going to be in the deployment stash, but that's the first thing we're going to do. Okay, so then we get to the market phase, and the heirs are going to build stables level 1. So I'm going to go ahead and put a marker on their stables level 1, and that means that their harriers are going to have +1 hit point. So fair enough. And then we can construct a dispatch platform or a mining outpost. Now, the dispatch platform is interesting because we actually do have the room to build at least 1. But I'm going to build a mining outpost. And now here's the other thing. It says within 5 hexes from your gate. So I can build it anywhere here. And so like I can put a dispatch platform, for example, here in the woods, which is actually quite powerful because as you're going by, the enemy heroes will never damage our tower, but the tower will always be attacking them. And the dispatch platform has splash. So it can be quite powerful, and we are able to build one. And I can't stress to you enough that that is an awesome location for one right there. As long as he has 1 range, and he can hit 4 spaces here. And with splash, if they're all one behind the other, he could really do some serious damage. Now, one of the reasons I'm shying away from it is we have these portals, and if they ever get unlocked, the enemy minions will use them just as much as we will, and so then this gets skipped, right? The other reason is I think we need source, and I'm going to take the free mining tower every day and twice on Sundays. So the drilling outpost is coming out, and I'm going to do the same thing. I'm just going to put it right here so it's nice and safe, and it's far away from taking any damage. And that's it. So I'm going to roll the event die now and see what happens to us. So I rolled a 3, which says the dispatch minions cannot be selected. However, I protected the dispatch minions, so we get to basically ignore the event. So that's awesome. All right, so now what do the heirs, let's get the heirs built, and then we'll figure out how we're going to spend our CP. So the heirs get 2 harriers. They get a harrier that's normal, not upgraded. And then they get a joust and an upgraded harrier together. So, and the joust is not upgraded, but the harrier is. Okay, so, yeah, the only difference is the attack, I guess. So, the joust and the upgraded harrier get 3 health because the joust is on top. And then this harrier normally only has 2 health, but because of that stables, it gets 3. So he's on top with 3. So they have 2 units. And we have 6 CP, not 5, because of we're spending our ability, the reinforcements. That gives us 6 CP instead of 5. So let's look real quick. So we got a Battleborn for 2. We have an Architect, an Aegis, and a Dispatch, which of course is protected. So normally we do a Dispatch and Battleborn, but because we have 6 instead of 5, we could do an Aegis and a Battleborn. And I have 10 source to spend still. So I wanted to show those to you because now we got to do our planning, right? So I'm thinking of buying that for 2. So that would put us down to 8. All right, and then of course I'm going to give that to Osh. So I'm going to just pick up Osh here and put that with him. Okay. I want to buy the drilling refinements, which gives me the +3, right? That costs 3 to do, but I'm at 8. Okay, so let's play this out. Also, whatever minions I deploy, I never get back. So the other thing that's an option here is I can upgrade the Battleborn for 4, the Aegis upgrades for 5. Now, why am I contemplating those? Well, because if I deploy a Battleborn this round, I only have 2 in the game, right? So if I upgrade the Battleborn Arena, then instead of them doing 1 damage, they can do 2, right? So the upgraded version is 2 damage versus 1. If I don't upgrade the Battleborn this round, I'm going to be probably sending one, and he's going to die. I never get him back, and I'm basically sending out the weaker version. And eventually, I will be upgrading the Battleborns because I'm probably going to want to upgrade Dispatch and Forsaken. I just don't have enough source to upgrade everything. And so this is my dilemma, right? And if I'm spending 3 to do this, which is important because that'll get me more source later, then I'm definitely not upgrading things. But the biggest one is the Aegis minion. I want to spend the 5 to upgrade that, because I think that if I have 6 CP, I'm probably going to be doing this configuration right here, right? So who cares about the Battleborn? Let's just say that, right? We don't care about the Battleborn. They're weak anyways. And in fact, by the way, I was wrong. There's 3 of them. So who cares about the Battleborn? But the Aegis I sort of do care about. And then the upgraded Aegis actually has the assault ability. So it has the ability to really assault a tower and do some good damage. Now, the one thing about this, though, he only moves 1 space at a time, and those towers just tear him apart. I do want to point out, though, that none of these towers have range. And let me move this out of the way. If you look at these towers, I know you can't see them normally, but see, they don't have any range. They just have an attack and a fortification, every one of them. So for this first round, we really can tear them up, because this tower won't attack you until you're adjacent. And so that slow-moving Aegis really can do something. And he has the assault ability, which means he would destroy the fortification and then take out the other thing along the way. So I guess what I'm getting at is upgrading the Aegis is worth it. So we're going to spend 5 points to do that. So I'm going to upgrade the Aegis for 5. And that's what? Assembly, level 1. Done. So 8 minus 5 is 3. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to build a source drill for 3, because I think the source matters. So we're going to do that. And that spends everything. We're down to 0. So, it wasn't bad. I mean, we did as much as we could given all the extra bonus source. And the good news is we get to deploy our Aegis upgraded. And our Battleborn, unfortunately, not upgraded. So, now the next question is, do we want to group them together? If we did, the Aegis would actually be on top. And my answer is no, we don't. So I'm going to just put 3 health on the Aegis, and then 3 on the Battleborn. And I'm going to deploy them with the Battleborn on top and Osh on bottom. Nope, sorry. I'm going to put Osh on top. And there we go. I think we're ready to go. So I know it always takes gosh, that was what? 29 minutes. So my apologies, but that's half the joy of this game, is learning what you need to do and strategizing. So we're ready to go. And who goes first? They do. So let's do it. This guy has 4 movement. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And then this one has 2 movement. So 1, 2. There you go. Now it's our turn. So I'm going to go 1, 2, like so. And then the Battleborn, 1, 2, and the Aegis 1. And then I'm going to explore this, which is a Grail Goat that's relentless. So this actually is a problem for me. I could die with this one. Oh no, this is bad. Well, let me just tell you something. If I die, I'm retconning because I can't, you know. Now, technically speaking, if you lose the scenario, then you have to, then you lose all these upgrades and you don't get to do them again. So that blows. That goat is just so relentless. Just to remind you, when I roll this die, if I get anything other than a blank or a 2, I have to keep re-rolling, and he does all that damage. So you need to kill him all in one swig. So I'm probably going to have to just leave him there and move on to another landmark. But I am next to a source, and you see I just rolled a 3. I already paid for itself, so I just got 3 source for that. I'm up to 3. Okay, our turn's over. So now it's their turn. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. Okay, now it's our turn. So, but you know what? On the last turn, I was going to explore this as well. That's an engage. So this is not good for us. Yeah, that's going to be problematic. I probably shouldn't have done that. So that's an engage, which meant that he had to attack. So we did 1 damage, and he's going to do 2 damage back, and my Battleborn's almost dead. So now the Battleborn moves, and the Aegis will move 1, and then our hero will move 2. And I'm going to go ahead and just explore this one too. And actually, let me show you. I forgot to show you what these are. That guy has engage. And the other one is relentless again. So these guys are just not fun at all. They're not fun at parties. And the good news is I can leave the wolves alone. But the this little roughneck guy stinks. So engages, you have to attack him. And then, of course, our hero isn't there to do anything about it. So how many people have to engage? Is it everybody? I'm going to check. Must be revealed when explored. Oh, that's right, because you can like peek at it and then choose not to reveal it. If a unit can attack the landmark during its attack stage, it must do so. So yeah, Battleborn's as good as dead. So we're going to go ahead and attack with the Battleborn, do 1 damage. And then it's going to kill the Battleborn. So this is now out of the game. And then the Aegis is going to attack because it has to. So it's going to do 2 damage. And unfortunately, it's going to do 2 damage to the Aegis, which that really just blows beyond belief. I just, I'm so angry about that. Nothing I can do. So now they go 1, 2, 3, 4. And then this is 1, 2. And so here you're going to see that this guy has Quick Strike, and he's going to attack the Aegis for 1 damage. But the Aegis has armor and doesn't do anything, but he does 2 damage back. So that part is at least good news. And now we get to the movement stage of our turn. And I'm a little annoyed because I need my hero to get in there, and my hero can't go in the water. So this whole scenario is just playing out awful so far. I wanted my hero to kill this thing, and he's not going to be able to. So Aegis can't move, but the Aegis has to attack this. It's required. And so we do attack it, and we're going to get... Oh, we get a relic. I guess that explains why the guy was so tough. All right, so I'm going to shuffle, and let's draw a relic. And what do we get? Tripwire. If an opposing hero ends its movement within 3 hexes of one of your spires, to render the hero unable to attack this turn and unable to move on its next, place a health chip on top of the hero as a reminder of this. So I guess that's good, because we can maybe, you know, snare them and whittle them down with our towers, but we don't have any. Okay, so it's their turn. This guy can't move. This one moves 2. And unfortunately, oh no, this guy's going to attack, and he does no damage because of the armored. And then he's going to retaliate and kill the Harrier. That's actually sweet. I thought the Harrier was going to finish him off. So we get 2 CP, or 2 source for that, so we're up to 5 now. And now it's our turn. And I'm going to move, obviously he has to move 1, and then I'm going to move 1, 2, like this. I am not going to attack this guy because they all scare me. And then this guy is going to move 1, 2. So now I got the weird situation here. I'm once again stuck with my hero where I can't attack this guy at the same time he attacks. So this guy, as much as I wanted him to take out their tower down here, I'm not going to be able to. So it's my turn, so I'm going to move, and my hero is stuck again. Okay. So the good news is I get to do 2 damage first, but he's doing 2 damage back, and even if the armor blocks 1, we're dead. Well, and armor doesn't block. So that Aegis is now out for the rest of the game, and that hurts. So now it's their turn, and they're going to move 1, 2. So this guy is going to quick strike and do 2 damage to my hero, but my hero is going to do 1 damage back, and we do kill the Jouster for 2 source. So I'm up to 7, and then now we get a Harrier that has 3, but that Harrier does 2 damage. And I level up, which gives me 1 pip, but does not so I need to think this through. So what I'm going to do is I am going to take the attack upgrade, which it's funny because without the stables I would have been able to kill him because he has 3 health, but I can't. So it's my turn, and I'm quite literally going to just stay. I'm not going to do anything. I'm just going to stay where I am. And here's why. Their minion has to move. He's just going to keep going. So their minion's going to go 1, 2, and now he's at the gate. And so he'll quick strike the gate. And so I do take 2 damage. I'm down to 8. And then, of course, we strike back and do 1 damage to him. So that part is fine. But now it's our turn, and guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to go 1, and then I'm going to attack him for 2 damage because I do 2 attacks now. And I'm going to kill their Harrier, and then in doing so, I flip to the other side, and I get my health back. So now I'm back to full health, and the wave ends. So we did take 2 damage. We do get a source for that Harrier, so let's not forget that. I'm up to 8. So hopefully, boy, that was a scary thing. And then the fact that we get these 2 relentless guys is also scary to me, because those were... I was really hoping to get some nice level ups there, but I wasn't able to. Okay, so we're at the end of the round. I am going to cash in my mining outpost, and so that'll get me 6 source. So 8 plus 6 puts me to 14. And then for the next wave, we get 0 income, but the source drill gives me 3 more, so I'm up to 17. And I think that's it for the next wave. So let's roll the event die. So I rolled a 4 again. And that, once again, is the dispatch, which I protected. So I guess that's paying off. Okay, so with this one, they add a range upgrade to the bottom of each air spire. So now my grand opportunity to take out their towers is ruined, right? Because now they got a range on every dang one of them, and excuse me, that hurts. I mean, I didn't honestly think I was going to take out all 4, but I was hoping to at least take out 1, this one right here. So that really bothers me there too, but nothing I can do. I just got to keep playing. Right, sorry, I dropped something on the floor. Okay, so what's next? We did the event die, we got our income. Oh, we got to get our market going. So just a reminder, those are the guys in the market. And I got to grab one more. And it's that fallen taproot thing. So well, the nice thing about hiring them is those are extra guys to do damage, right? I can only buy 1. The hunter one is attractive because I can use him to maybe attack that relentless guy, and I don't care if I lose him. But he costs 3, which is actually a big cost. So let's look at our situation. I'm sitting at 17, which is nice, but I know I can blow through that in a heartbeat. I have no towers to defend me right now. I think I need to build 2 mining towers just because it's the only way I'm going to get a lot of source. I know I only needed 1 mining tower, so maybe I should just build 1 because all the source I gained from other purposes was able to get me enough, and then the mining tower plus the 3 from the source drill, I mean that's giving me 9. I can only carry 20. I know I could eventually carry 30, but I have to spend points to get there. You know what? I'm just going to spend 3. So it puts me down to 14, and I'm going to build a drilling outpost, and I'm going to put it at the far end here, hopefully to keep it alive. So next is I'm at 14. So I can obviously buy one of these guys from the market. I'm tempted to buy the Mountaineer, but I also need to upgrade other things, right? I have the construction yard. I have the honor pit, which would take 12. But you know what? I think I got it figured out. I'm going to buy the Mountaineer for 3. So I will do that. And so that puts me to 11. And then I'm going to get the first 2 upgrades to the honor pit for 8. So that leaves me with 3 left. So got that done. So now what did that do for me? That means that my Battleborns and my dispatches are all upgraded in addition to the Aegis, right? So I'm going to be able to, like, whatever units I deploy, because since I don't get to keep them anymore, they're out of the game forever, I at least want them to be upgraded if they're going to go out and fight for me. Now, I still have 3 left, so I got this market option that'll let me buy 2 things from the market. Not excited about that. The architect upgrade, oh here, let me just show you. I have 3 left, so it's not enough for this. I already have this, but I can't get the 2nd level. I have this for 5, but the 2nd level's 4. And then this one's 6 instead of 3. And even that one's 4. So I'm out of luck. So what I'm going to do, since I have 3 left, is I'm going to just build another mining outpost. Why not? I'll spend my 3, and even if I only cash in one of them at the end of the round, that means I won't have to buy another one next round, right? Because I'll still have 1 left. But I had 3 left, and there was nothing I could do with it. So now one of the things, well, no, because it's a market thing, but I could have bought this. So, like, I was trying to scheme, like, what can I do with those? I mean, you could theoretically make it so, you could walk a trail all the way here, but that would take a long time. You could modify maybe some things, like for example, this might be fun to do because now this makes it so I have a path to get to here, whereas now with the water, I can't actually get to this particular tower. That's a possibility. In order to build a tower all the way down here, I need to have towers along the way. So that means I would need a drilling tower, here and then there, and I'd have to build in multiple places. And in fact, in order to build one here, I have to build one here. So I have to clear that minion, that goat, who's annoying up there. Okay, so with that being said, they are getting one mega group and then a humminger on the bottom. So they're getting an upgraded joust. What did I do? Oh, here we go. So here's what they're getting. They're getting an upgraded joust with another upgraded joust underneath it. And so we got to look at what Fury Kick does. Fury Kick, when attacking a minion, the unit trades places with it prior to applying damage. The damage from this attack is dealt to all opposing units adjacent to this unit. Interesting. So that could be awful if we have a whole bunch of units in a line. So that's what the Joust does, upgraded. But I'm not done. It's a Joust, and then a regular Harrier, not an upgraded one. And those are underneath the Joust. So you got a big stack of 4 like that. And so they take 4 health. And so that's going to be the first, or the top of the stack, right? Now underneath that is this unit that we've never seen before called a Humminger. That's a Humminger. Oh, I've been forgetting something else. Elfin Kazis go anywhere where there's a Regal Lookout. So this one here has an Elfin Kazi. We never got anywhere close to needing to use it, but so this thing has 2 Roost, 1 Elfin and Flying. I don't know what Roost does for a unit that's moving, though. Elfin Kazi may perch on top of this unit or spire. So yeah, he only gets an Elfin Kazi if he has, oh, he gets one. So there's an Elfin Kazi literally sitting on top of him. That's what this guy does. So an Elfin Kazi sitting on top of him, just like they would if this was a tower. So, and he's a flying on top of that. So that's a very interesting thing. So the Elfin Kazi, of course, is going to, he only attacks our hero. But so like, both of these units are active. It's not like, they're not a group. It's literally an Elfin Kazi sitting on top of him, riding him like a horse. And they're both able to attack. That's an interesting scenario there. The Elfin Kazi has his own health. So how do you kill the Elfin Kazi? Or and it's a glide bomb side Elfin Kazi, of course. How bizarre. Okay. All right. So the last thing is we get 7 CP. So like normally I like to bring this guy out, right? But since we are limited, I don't want to do that now. And so I have these Battleborns that are now upgraded. So for example, that's 2. And let's say that that's 4, right? I want to do a 4. Whoops. That means I'd have 3 left. And so I'd be taking a dispatch. And so that's a 2 range with splash. So I could try to group them all together, so that way they survive all the way to the end. It's actually not a bad idea. 2, 4, 5, 6, 7. That would get us exactly to our 7. The one problem with this is that I'm using up all my Battleborns now, and if I do that, it means like when I have to spend 9 CP and I use like, let's say a 6, and then I need a 2 or a 3, the Battleborns are the only things left that's lower than a 4. And so I don't have any ability to deploy. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the Battleborns back. Now my Architect's not upgraded. That's my problem. I was thinking of maybe putting in an Architect so I can build a tower. It would build a dispatch tower. That's the problem. If I remember correctly, the Architect builds a specific tower. You may construct a dispatch platform on an adjacent source well, promote it to a siege tower, or upgrade any tower. Those are the 3 things you get to do. So then the other option is to use the upgraded Aegis again. You know what? I think that's fine. So now the real question is which one goes in front, or do I group them together? I mean, they're coming after us with this Fury Kick, so I feel like I don't want to spread them apart. I'm going to group them together, and I'm going to put the dispatch on top. So that's 3 health. Oh, we got the Mountaineer still. He's going to have his own health. And I'm going to put him on the tippy top. Yeah. Definitely. Okay. So the first player is us this time. So I'm going to move my hero . I'm not going to move my hero. My Mountaineer is going to go 1, 2, 3. And then my dispatch is going to go 1, 2, and displace the hero in exactly the direction I wanted to go. And then my hero is going to go 1, 2, and explore this, get that flipped over. And then now we're going to attack, and my hero does 2 damage now. That attack upgrade's actually not there. He does 2 damage now, and because he's a hunter, he does 3 damage to this guy, so we kill it without it ever having a chance to attack back. And that gave us 5 source. So the one good thing about those relentless guys is they pay you really well. So we now finally have a spot for a tower that's available, and that spot is actually a really good spot because the enemy is probably never going to attack a tower there. And we need a tower there in order to be able to build towers further down. So what I'm thinking then is we want a lance launcher, and that costs 6. So we still need 1 more source to be able to pull that off. But we got 5, and I'm very happy with that. Okay, so now it's their turn. And this guy is going to move 3. 1, 2, 3. And this guy is moving 2. 1, 2. All right, so now it's to us. And this is what's annoying me, is this guy's going to blow right by the thing I needed to attack. So what if I would have put him behind this? Well, that would have worked. So if I would have moved this one first, 1, 2, then this one would have come after him and then had to stop. And all that would have done was displace my hero even more, but that part's fine. Yeah, so I'm going to retcon that. I need this guy to attack this. That's what the whole point of this was, because he has the hunter ability. So I'm going to move Oh, you know what? He had 2 range, so I was able to attack this from 2 away. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. Actually, let me think about this. I don't need him at all. So I'm going to go back to where it was. So he's going to move 1, 2, 3. And then this one's going to move 1, 2. And then now my hero is going to go 1, 2, like that. Okay, so now it's, does a minion have to attack? No, they don't. So we're done. So here we go. 1, 2, 3. And then 1, 2. So they're coming across. So now our Mountaineer is going to go 1, 2. This one's going to go 1, 2. And this one's going to go 1, 2. Like that. Oh, and when we killed that guy, we got our upgrade. And I'm next to a source, so I'm going to roll my d6. And I got a 4. So that gives me 4 source. So I'm up to 9 now. And, yeah, we're in good shape. Okay, so now we got to do our attacks. So I'm going to attack first with the dispatch, this guy. And he does 2 damage from 2 away. And then I'm going to attack with this guy, who also does 2 damage. And we killed the Joust without even a fight. And the Joust gives us 2 source. So we get 2. We're up to 11 now. And our turn is over. The next one is a Joust, who also has 4 health. Oh, and I made a mistake. This tower here has a range of 1. So he will attack our Hunter. And it's a 1. So the Hunter did take 1 damage. I like the idea of this guy. He was worth the 3 source because he's like doing damage and absorbing damage while our regular guys are not. So it's just that little bit of extra edge. So now it's their turn. This guy can't move. This one can only, well, he'll move 2 spaces to end here. And the Elfin Kazi is not going to do anything because he's going after my hero, which is up here. Okay, so now this guy is going to do Quick Strike and Fury Kick. So the Quick Strike means he'll attack before our towers, which isn't a big deal. And I thought about maybe exploring this and flipping it over, but I'm not going to do that yet because that meant that this guy would be able to come straight to our tower, and I'm not prepared for that yet. So So his Fury Kick means he's going to switch places with the Mountaineer. That's what that means. But then he's going to damage anybody that's around him now for 2 damage. So the Hunter takes 2 damage, and then the Hunter retaliates and does 2 damage to him. Now, the part that stinks about it is this guy is going to do 2 damage, and he's going to kill the Hunter, and the Hunter can't retaliate. So at least the Hunter did his job, but he's done. Okay, so now it's our turn, and I can't do anything, like this dispatch has to move. So I'm going to move 1 space here, and then I'm going to move my hero 2 spaces there, which means that I'm in range. This guy has 2, so the Elfin Kazi is going to be able to go after me. Okay, but my Osh here is, he's got 2, 3, 4 attack against this wolf. So we're going to kill the wolf outright. And the wolf gives us a relic. And, well, actually, hold on. I didn't get a relic. Here, let me show you. That's not a relic. That is. So it's going to be a wash because we got a relic, and I'll just keep the tripwire. I'll keep this card, that we already drew. So that's not a problem. What that is I think that's a free tower upgrade or a tower. I got to check. So let me check that real quick. Yeah, I know it's in the rulebook. I just got to figure out where. Oh, spire reward. The defeating faction may immediately build a spire on the source well at no cost and ignore influence restrictions. So that was where the roughneck was. So let me do that. I'm going to build a spire at no cost. And if I remember correctly, it was at this location. So it doesn't impact anything with the game because we've never been within range. So I'm going to build a lance launcher which has air defense. And it's going to have one attack and one range. Right there. Okay, so now the wolf that I defeated gave me the relic that I currently have, and I prematurely drew, and I get 2 more source, so I'm up to 13 now. Okay. Now, we finished this guy did his attack, but this one gets to attack. And what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to attack and kill the Elfin Kazi. The Elfin Kazi has 1 health. He's sitting on top of the Humminger, who's flying, but I have a range attack here, so I can hit flying units. And so I'm going to kill the Elfin Kazi, or otherwise the Elfin Kazi is going to come here and do 2 damage to both. So we're going to... and I may have to back this guy up once, because I think the Elfin Kazi immediately moves as soon as you go in range. Let me check. The unit will only move from its roost if it's able to move adjacent to an opposing hero. If the unit has when starting a turn off a roost, it will move adjacent to an opposing hero. Okay, no, it does not until it's his turn. So I can move my hero there, no problem. Okay, so I'm going to kill the Elfin Kazi, and that gives me 2 source. So I'm up to 15 now, which is really good. So I probably want to start upgrading my tower here. So it's their turn. This guy can't move. This will move 1. Actually, he's flying. What am I thinking? This guy's going to move 1, 2, like that, because he's a flyer. So we're going to get all kinds of weird attacks. So first things first, the Joust is going to use Quick Strike and push through. And then he does 2 damage to our Dispatch. And our Dispatch is going to do 2 damage back, and it kills the Joust. And the Joust gives us 2 CP, so we're up to 17. And then during normal attack, this Harrier is going to kill our Dispatch. So the Dispatch dies, but our Aegis pops up. And what's interesting is because he flipped us, we're in range of the tower, but yeah, anyways, I'll be able to move 2. Yeah, okay. And then the Humminger is attacking our hero, unfortunately. So he's going to do 2 damage to the hero, which is bad. But our hero is going to do 2 plus 1 is 3 damage back. And we do kill the Humminger, which gives us 2 more source. And that puts us up to 19 source. So it's our turn now. And my hero needs to get out of dodge because we're almost dead. So that's the first thing. And I can do that pretty easily, and I can actually go somewhere safe. So that's not a worry. But I'm sitting on 19 source, and I got all this income that I can get. So I need to upgrade my tower, and I'm going to upgrade this one twice. This Harrier only does 1 damage, so I know he can't damage my tower if I have a fortification. But I'm going to spend 3. So it puts me down to 16 to do that. And so I got a nice attack there. And, you know, it'd be really nice if I had, like, well, I got to be careful. I only have so many pips. I have 4 pips. So I'm going to spend 2 more. Puts me down to 14. And do this. Now, unfortunately, that's my 2 builds. So these mining towers may stay for a future wave. This is crazy. I didn't think I would have so many source, but I need to spend my limited build actions to build more towers that cost like 6 each to build or something, instead of this. But this is going to be a nice little tower here to help me against flying units. Okay, and then for my hero, I'm going to move to here so I'm safe and out of range. So now it's their turn, and he's going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. He has quick strike, so he's going to try to attack here, but he can't because the fortification is 2 health, and this guy only does 1 damage. So now our tower is going to attack. We roll two dice. Oh my gosh, I rolled a 4. I didn't even need 4, but the Harrier's dead, and that gives me 2 more swords, so I'm back up to 16. I may need to unlock that 30 source thing. So now the next Harrier is sitting there at full health. And again, he can't attack our tower, he can't do anything. So now it's our turn, and I'm going to just let my hero heal. Like so. You know, I don't have to, actually. On our turn, I'm going to just move my hero 1, 2 to here. My hero does 3 attack, and we're going to just kill him outright. Get 2 more source. So that puts me to 18 source, folks. So, oh, we killed him there. Did I forget to move this guy? I did. So on the turn where I moved my hero to here, I was supposed to do something with this guy. So forgive me. So sorry. Forgive me. But I just need to take 2 turns with this guy, and then he's caught up. So his first turn, he would move 2, and then this tower would be attacking him. So 1 damage is done to him, unfortunately. But here's what's awesome. He's not just armored, he's upgraded. And he doesn't move 2, he only moves 1. Oh, and since he's armored, he doesn't even take that damage. Awesome. So here's what's awesome about him. He has assault. He has the assault keyword. So what assault does is it automatically destroys the bottom upgrade, which is his range. And then he's going to now do his regular attack and destroy the fortification. So we just took out 2 from him. So then the next turn, which is this turn, he would have moved here, and they would have rolled again. And unless I roll a 2, he won't do any damage. And I'm fine. He rolled a 1. So now we have assault, which automatically kills this thing. And this tower, this refuge tower, is destroyed, and we get 3 CP, this is even more insane. We're sitting on 20. I can't even get more. Holy cow. So we did get their tower destroyed, which I'm very happy with. I wish I had another build action, or I'd build a tower here, but I can't. I spent too much upgrading this when I shouldn't have. That was a big mistake on my part. Okay, so now it's my turn, and yeah, I'm going to use this time to heal. And this guy would move 1. And unfortunately now he's being attacked by this tower. So I roll a 1 and no damage happens. That's the awesome part about being armored. And so why didn't this work before? Oh, because their towers always had way more than 1 attack on them. So now I'm going to go again. And I'm going to move 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I have to move here. But what I'm concerned about is once I get here, this guy's going to attack me too. But I'm here. Let's attack again. And I rolled a 1, no damage. And yeah, this guy's going to wreck him. So we just took 2 upgrades off of that tower. And I'm still sitting here. And now next turn I move here. Both of them get to attack me. And one of them does hit me. So I will lose 1 health. But this thing is destroyed. And the Elfin Kazi, I don't get any of the points for that. I would have gotten 3 source, but it's just crazy. I'm sitting on 20. Oh man, I just really screwed the pooch on that. So now it's my turn again. I move here. And he's not going after the other towers. I wish he was. And so I'm just going to keep playing this out. So So now I'm going to do 2 damage to their fortress. So he's down to 8. We take 1, and then he's down to 6, and we die. And remember, even though he's armored, the fortresses bypass armor. So the Aegis did his job. He cleared out every tower that's ever going to be in his path. So even though that was our last Aegis, he did exactly what he was designed to do. And by the way, our hero would be fully upgraded. Okay, I'm 1 hour and 10, so I'm going to say thanks for watching, stay awesome, and I'll see you in 2.